Welcome back again on another episode. Let's talk about the headline that has got a lot of people talking for the past few hours. Iran and Israel are at it. Yes, Israel is always at it. It all started on April 1st when Israel bombed Iran embassy in Syria, which ended up killing their military advisors and three senior commanders. And Iran has decided to return the same energy. If you have been following the news, you would think that Israel is under an attack unprovoked, while the case is that they started all of this. And even made a statement that if they try this again, their retaliation is going to be louder than this current one, and that this is between them and Israel. People are speaking mostly about Israel trying to act like the victim in this situation, when in turn they were the one who started all of this. When they bombed their embassy in Syria, what were they expecting? These are the questions that people have, and this has sparked a conversation and people are talking about it. So without wasting much time, let's get right into what the people have to say about Israel bombing Iran embassy in Syria.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You bomb their embassy and then you go on the news and make a press conference about how you're currently being attacked. I'm sorry, what am I missing? How is it an attack if the reaction you're getting is because of retaliation? The action you are receiving is because you bombed an embassy in a foreign country, might I add, which first of all, you must have reason, justification, and motive. And if you did not expect all those three things to give you a reaction, why do it to begin with? And I'm not surprised. Mainstream media is using the narratives that I've seen countless of times whenever they speak about countries that they want to portray as victims, who pretty much are the perpetrators.
Attacking another country's embassy is grounds for war, bar none, doesn't matter who you are. If you didn't know better and you opened up the news app, you would think that Israel was bracing for an unprovoked attack from Iran. NPR's classic both sides whataboutism to Fox's full-blown xenophobia, hide in your bunker, the evil terrorists are coming. And what they're leaving out is that on April 1st, an Israeli airstrike destroyed the Iranian consulate annex building adjacent to their embassy in Syria. And that was Israel's whole point. If they can force Iran to retaliate, then that forces the US to get involved in the war, more so than just funding it. White House sources say Biden is frustrated that he wasn't consulted on X, Y, and Z attack. I'm sorry. Crimea fucking river, they are emboldened in these actions, bombing Lebanon, bombing Syria, because you haven't put in any motion for accountability since the start of this. Iran is backed into a corner. If they get involved, then suddenly it's a war with America as well. If they don't, they're saying to the world, you can bomb our embassies, you can take out our top commanders in a foreign country with no repercussion. What would you do if you were Iran?
Y'all, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting. Not the rap girlies this time. The countries are fighting. Iran is threatening Israel. Iran told Israel, bitch, I'll slap the shit out of you. And Yemen and Syria is like, go and slap that bitch. I want that bitch to run up. I'm gonna lay her ass out. Go and slap that bitch. And Israel is shook. It's shook. They're telling the people, get up in the bomb shelters. Iran told Jordan, if you open your airspace up, I'ma lay your ass out. Don't you open up that airspace to that bitch. Anybody that crosses over your airspace coming towards us, I'm laying your ass out. I'ma beat that bitch and I'ma beat you too. Y'all, they are fighting. I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's Syria, Yemen, and Iran together. Wow. I don't know if I'm gonna keep y'all posted, but this is just and Iran launched a cyber attack on Israel. Girl, the girls are fighting.
Attacking another country's embassy is grounds for war, bar none.
How would you like to be told bad news? How would you like to be told that on April 13th, 2024, America eagerly got themselves involved in bullshit? How would you like me to inform you that all of the people who were complicit, all of the people who were like, I don't have enough information to speak about this, all of the people who watched Palestinian children die, Palestinian women, Palestinian men, all of you, I blame for what's happening today. And I know you're like, that's a stretch, but it's not a stretch, right? Because you guys continue to back a genocidal maniac with pleasure, with pride. Blue MAGA, red MAGA, you're all the problem because you're comfortable with atrocities. You are fine with people dying. You are fine with war games because it's not in your backyard. But I think you need to understand things will be getting worse for us in America. Countries are tired of America's bullshit. And Joe Biden is going to put us in more problems than he is incapable of solving. Iran legally has the right to defend themselves. And Joe Biden is going to send American troops into this. And American lives will be lost. And money will be spent. And war will begin. But this is what y'all wanted. This is what you wanted when you wanted the lesser of two evils. You still wanted evil. And I hope that disturbs you. I hope you can't sleep at night. I hope those of you who are clinging to this, I hope you stub your toe. Peace, love, and hair grease. This wasn't going to be an uplifting video. We're about to be at war. People are going to die. I wish you much pain in the toe front.
Iran just sent a message to the United Nations, but they were really speaking to the U.S. and standing on business. So you may have heard Iran already did their retaliatory strike after Israel attacked their embassy in Syria on April 1st. It seems like these strikes are coming to a close because Iran just sent this letter saying that the Iranian military action, which was carried out based on Article 51 of the United Nations Charter concerning legitimate defense, was in response to the aggression of the Zionist regime on our diplomatic buildings in Damascus. So they were just letting it known that they were following the guidelines of the United Nations when it comes to defending yourself. They went and said that this matter can be considered concluded. However, if the Israeli regime makes another mistake, Iran's response will be much more severe. This matter can be considered concluded, like we're done, that's it. You got your one, I got my one, we're done. And then to close it all off, this conflict is between Iran and a rogue Israel regime, which the United States should stay away from. If that's not putting the US in their place, I don't know what is. First they tell you that we're following your rules, okay? You can't come at us and say that we're doing some T attacks. We're following your rules when it comes to self-defense. Then they say, you got your lick, we got ours. It's over. It's even. And then they had to make it clear that we don't do jumping over here. This is between me and them. US, stay out. This message went so hard, I swear. I couldn't help but to laugh when I read it.
I'm reflecting about three things as we're watching whatever the hell it is that's unfolding between Israel and Iran. First one is the genocide hasn't ended and there are massacres being committed at this very moment. Second thing that's interesting to observe is the level of fear that people that are not from Gaza are experiencing right now because they suddenly feel like whatever was happening in Gaza is getting closer to home, you know? Even though for 7 months we're telling people, cut the freaking parties, cut the freaking stupid TikToks, start talking about Palestine, stop being selfish, stop celebrating this and that in neighboring Arab countries. But no one cared. No one really shared the fear. They just kept saying, you guys are strong. God will give you something better in the afterlife. That was the response, right? From all the neighbors, the Arab neighbors. But now all these individuals are in fear online and crying because they're scared of what's to come to their own countries. I want to remind people that living in misery and going through bombs and going through the types of weapons that Israel uses against us in Gaza, that's not a feature or a characteristic of Gazans, right? Like, this is not meant to be something that we are supposed to withstand while you go on and live your life. Third reflection I have is that whatever is being intercepted by the Iron Dome in Israel, it's being intercepted in majority Jewish neighborhoods. But for the Arab neighborhoods, which by the way, Israel is always putting out propaganda about how they have Arab citizens and how they have equality. But guess what? The people that are getting injured are in those Arab neighborhoods within Israel. And the reason for that is that the Iron Dome is not set up to intercept missiles in predominantly Arab neighborhoods and and cities within this freaking entity.
So everyone has probably seen that Iran launched an offensive against Israel yesterday, shooting hundreds of missiles towards Israel, most of which were intercepted by Israel, the US, UK, Egypt, and Jordan. So let's talk about it. This was likely in response to Israel's bombing or targeting, airstriking, whatever you want to call it, of the Iranian embassy in Damascus. From a legal perspective, it's completely understandable for Iran to do this, albeit all Western commentators seem to be forgetting the fact that Israel bombed and blew up Iran's embassy in Damascus, killing, I think, up to 60 people. You would assume that nothing like that happened, whether it be from the news, whether it be from right-wing commentators, whether it be from politicians, whether it be from liberals in general. You had Rishi Sunak putting out a statement condemning it, but said nothing about Israel's bombing of the Iranian embassy. So that's the landscape we're in at the moment, which is why I feel it's very easy for people to be drawn in and be like, yeah, go on Iran, get him Iran, let's do it, let's back a war. I want to tell you, we don't want a massive war in the Middle East, especially those of us in the West who are sitting comfortably. Us here in the West saying, yeah, go on, have another war, lads. Have an all-out war in the region. We can say that because we aren't going to be the ones who are going to be facing the devastation of war. We aren't the ones who are going to be facing the absolute destruction of our homes and the suffering of our people. So please do not say, yeah, guys, let's start another war over this. That's not really the best thing. We don't want that sort of large-scale war taking over the region. Also, the other big thing is this entire attack from Iran, albeit I understand why they did it, please don't allow this to clog up your feed instead of supporting pro-Palestinian causes. This is going to stop any reporting on Palestine, or at least it's going to reduce the reporting on Palestine and increase the reporting on Iran. So remember, please continue to share Palestinian voices. Please continue to share stories coming out of Palestine. The aggression we're seeing in the West Bank is happening at the same time. The West Bank is being pillaged and destroyed by Israeli settlers who feel extremely emboldened. My previous video was talking about that. Please do not forget the Palestinians right now, despite this offensive by Iran. The focus should and always should be on the Palestinians right now.
If you have been on the news, what is your take about this whole Israel versus Iran going on? The genocide and the ethnic cleansing going on in Gaza is not even over yet. And just take a look at another one. The media made it seem like it was just an attack on Israel, like unprovoked, like they just want to attack them and they have to be saved. But Iran going for Israel is them literally retaliating what they did to them. It wasn't like it started from them. It was basically a retaliation attack. Is there a war coming on? Is this signaling another war to us? Because the Gaza situation is not even off the table yet, and this one is already coming in. Iran said the strike from Israel was a significant threat to their regional peace and security. Bombing an embassy is really a no-no. So basically, Israel came for them first, and they decided to retaliate and even send out a statement that the United States should stay away, which I feel like it's almost impossible. Iran as well has some country backing them up, the likes of Yemen. You guys already know that Yemen has been so loud about not being in support of what Israel is doing to the people of Gaza. So Yemen, Syria, and Iran seems to be together at this point. What do you guys think about all of this? What do you think about Israel bombing their embassy in Syria? What do you think about the news? What do you think about all of this going on? And what do you think about Iran as well sending their retaliation bombs to Israel? Let's continue this conversation in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one.